Yeah. So as I said, we're from the Ignite Youth Center. So the Ignite Youth Center is a free, fun, safe, inclusive, and supportive resource and job and space for all youth 12 to 19. We're located in St. Thomas, and you can't really miss us because we have a giant purple and green building, which is awesome. We provide age-appropriate programming and activities for youth. And every day we have snacks, hygiene supplies, clothing, anything a youth might need. So right now things look a little different here because of COVID-19. So our hours are actually 1:30 to 6:30, and you can drop in anytime between those hours if you'd like. And yeah, we're just honestly an awesome space to come hang out and do what you want. Switch slides.
Okay, so some programs that we offer here include art, baking, cooking, express yourself, mental wellness, movies, recreation, smart decision, and games. Recently, we started revamping some of our programs and have included some events. So we now run a tween program, which is for youth ages 10 to 13. We've also been doing a paint night, which if you want to register, we have one coming up next Wednesday. You can just do that on Instagram or Facebook. And we've also done our Friday night, which is where we showed movies for a night, and we're hoping to do one again for Christmas. We also offer assistance in creating resumes and cover letters, volunteer opportunities, and homework help. We're not tutors, but we do our best. So the next slide, please.
Green.
It's just showing here.
Yeah, perfect. So as you probably know, we're going to do some rock art. Rock art is a very popular activity during art club here at the center. The youth really seem to enjoy it, and we do it quite often. We're going to show you some of the examples of rocks we have done in the past at the center. So some of the rocks that you see in the corner there are done by staff, whereas some of the rocks were completed by youth and gifted to us. So they're all pretty cool. And there's all different types, which we're going to go through. So you can go to the next slide if you want. The other one, perfect. So the following, we're going to show you are different types of rock art using many different materials. So really the sky's the limit with supplies. If you don't have a rock, you can use paper or canvas if you have one. And the sky's the limit also applies to any materials such as like paintbrushes, Q-tips, pencils, paintbrushes, anything you have around the house. Do you want to explain this one?
Yeah. So dot art is like our most popular form of rock art. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just cool.
Yeah. It's sometimes a little hard to do because it's so detailed, but it's fun.
Yeah. Next slide, please.
So this is painting of rocks, although there's one in the corner. That's dot art, but that's fine. So these are just simple painting on rocks.
Next.
So these ones are just markers. If you want to use markers, it's best to paint the background because it's much easier to use when you're using markers. You use like fine tip markers or just regular Crayola markers.
Sharpies.
Yep, Sharpies. Next slide. So these ones are paint markers. What was that called again? You can use glitter pens, again, pastels, the thin markers, any materials you have. You can go to the next one.
So these are motivational rocks. So I don't know if you all remember during the lockdown, like early on, people were putting these motivational rocks along hiking trails and walking paths and in parks for other people to find in hopes of spreading joy and positivity. However, we recently found out that you shouldn't do this because the paint is bad for the ecosystem. So if you opt to make one of these rocks today, you can keep it in your yard or your garden or give it to somebody else. Just please don't put it in nature.
Perfect. Next slide. So why is art therapeutic? Art is a way of expressing yourself and can alleviate depression, anxiety, and stress. Art can be a part of self-care as it can be relaxing and a distraction. Art does not need to be perfect, and you don't need previous experience or natural ability, and that's the beauty of it. Art can take many forms, and then we're going to do a quick activity. So if you want to take a few minutes to think of some other simple art activities you can do at home, feel free to write them down or use your brain, and then we'll show you our examples in a minute. And yeah, the one that she's pulling up, these are just things that we've thought of that are easy to do at home rock or art activities.
So this is the steps for rock art. So you would, and hopefully you've already picked a rock. It can be any size. It can be smooth. It can be rough, like this one. But if it was rough, well, how do I work this? Okay, there. If it's rough, it's like a good idea to add like a base coat just so it's easier to paint. You'd want to wash your rocks, remove all the dirt, and let them dry before beginning. You can pick your paint design, use small brushes, Q-tips, permanent markers, etc. Anything Spencer said earlier. And you finish your rocks with a coat or 2 or 3 of Mod Podge or urethane if you're going to put it outside, just to protect the paint. So if you don't already have your supplies, we can give you a few minutes to gather them up. If you don't have a rock, a piece of paper is fine, canvas, whatever. And then we can go ahead and do our rock art together. Or you can use this time to look on the internet and find some inspiration.
Yeah, so that's pretty it for the presentation. And then now we just want to do some rock art.